Buffalo Bills and their playoff chances. Buffalo Bills started off first 2 weeks of the season looking really good. I mean, they have an impressive quarterback, Ryan
Fitzpatrick.
And Josh, I know you think he's impressive.
I'm a Fitzpatrick
I seen that
guy.
you would have picked him up on your fantasy team.
I am a Fitzpatrick guy. I love Fitz, man.
That's 2 years in a row, by the way.
That's the second year that I went and picked up Fitzpatrick. I believe in Fitzpatrick.
But you refused to draft him.
I didn't draft Fitzpatrick. I can go ahead and I understand that, but I did pick him up. He was always good. Because the reason why I didn't draft him is because I knew no one else believed in him. So I knew I was going to be able to get him off the market anyway.
So you drafted a bunch of other crap quarterbacks.
I really did. I had Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford just threw for over 300 yards. So, I mean, Sam Bradford's a good quarterback. And then I picked up Eli. I mean, the quarterbacks that I had was okay. But, I mean, I just went and got Fitz because I think Fitz is going to do numbers again this year, plain and simple. I just want to make sure it wasn't a fluke, what he did before.
All right. I mean, I like Stevie Johnson. Stevie Johnson was on the Jim Rome show this week. Props to Stevie Johnson. Props to you, Jim Rome. But Stevie Johnson, I think he's an excellent player. I like what he brings to the show. I like what he brings in terms as a player. He has a lot of explosiveness. I mean, 8 catches, if I'm not mistaken. Stevie Johnson looked really good, man.
I don't know if the Buffalo Bills make the playoffs. I just think that defense is not good enough to make the playoffs, plain and simple. I mean, you know, they're in another tough division. I mean, the division that they're in, what was it, New England, the Dolphins, and the Jets.
Yeah.
And then the Bills,
AFC East, it's toughest division of football. AFC East,
one of the toughest divisions
of football.
I don't think it's the toughest division.
I mean, the Dolphins look like crap right now, but that's a whole different subject. I don't even want to get into the Dolphins. But, I mean, do the Bills make the playoffs? I'm going to say no. I just think they're in such a tough division. I don't think a division can send three teams to the playoffs, and two of them would have to win both wild card spots. So
I do think the Bills go 8-8 though. I mean, I think they go 8-8. I don't think they have a losing season. I just don't think they make the playoffs. It's just the division's too tough. I do think they do have a chance this weekend versus New England though. I give them that much because I just don't think that New England secondary sucks. If they can find a way to slow down Tom Brady in the slightest bit, I mean, that would just give them even better chance. But I still think they make the playoffs.
Shout outs to my boy D-Flow. Playing in Buffalo, a cornerback, Drayton Florence. That's one of my boys. Shout out. Now, let's say this. Let's go through their schedule, and let's see what makes sense. I mean, they're 2-0 right now. They beat the Raiders in Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City's in shambles. I mean, Jamal Charles is out. Hit my fantasy hard right there. I drafted him number 1 overall in one of my leagues. Jamal Charles is out. I mean, they beat the Raiders last week. Darren McFadden looked pretty good. They play New England this week. Let's say they lose against New England. Week 4, they play Cincinnati. I'll take a win against Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'll take them against Cincinnati.
So that's 3-1. Then you play Philly. If Vic ain't ain't back yet against Philly.
I'll take Philly, though.
Philly will take Philly. Okay, let's say 3-2. Then they play the Giants, 3-3.
I think they could to be honest with you, I think they could beat the Giants.
4-2. 4-2 now. Then you go... after the Giants, you get a bye in Week 7. Week 8, you play the Washington Redskins. That's an easily winnable game.
That's a winnable game.
Winnable game.
They have to win
let's say if you win that,
the Redskins
that's 5
are
and
good.
2. 5-2, you win that.
Who they're playing, but I mean,
they play the Jets Week 9.
That's
a loss. Let's say a loss.
I mean, that's a game that you can lose. I mean, I said they're going to lose. I just don't think the defense. I just don't like the defense. The offense is there all day, but can their defense stop anybody?
Marcel Darius is a playmaker.
That's about it. I mean, Sean Merriman on the D line. I mean, they did. Don't get me wrong. They look better.
Nick Barnett. They got Nick Barnett.
They look better on
Flores
defense.
out at the corner. They got the safety.
They look better, but what I'm seeing on that field though, it don't look. I mean, it's just the numbers don't look right.
I mean, the way what's that fool name on ESPN with all the good Mel Kiper? The way he talked about Ashton Yeboah in the draft. I mean, you think Ashton Yeboah would be a Pro Bowler by now?
Yeah,
what's the other safety name? The first round pick at the safety.
Who?
For Buffalo.
That first round pick at the safety. Dante Whitner's not there no more.
Whitner's not there anymore?
No, he's on the 49ers right now.
Wow. Buffalo. Okay, Buffalo. I take my playoff hopes away. Just forget about it. I'm just not even gonna go through it anymore.
One thing I want to make a comment on, I did just see here breaking news that Blaine Gabbert will be starting for the Jaguars this week. Jaguars organization, you're a bunch of retards. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say retards. Retard.
He was a retard.
No disrespect to the handicapped community.
Is this guy giving shout-outs to the handicapped community? So if there's a subculture of handicapped individuals who all hang together, are in one community.
Let me tell you something. Shout out to the handicapped community.
Hey, I'm appalled for the handicapped community.
Let me tell you something about the handicapped community. I can't stand when you go to the store and you got all these handicap spots that ain't never taken. It's like all the people riding on a bus together. Why do you need so many handicap spots if all of them drive on a bus and they can't even drive?
He was a retard.
But no, I'm sorry, I got nothing to do with the handicapped community. Like I said, shouts out to you, no disrespect. But the Jaguars ownership and I don't know where that decision came from to release David Garrard. Now you're starting this guy Blaine Gabbert, which you should have been starting him week 1 over Luke McCown. So now you're gonna take week 3 to be a starter. The decision made absolutely no sense. Now your team is nowhere close to ever going to make the playoffs this year. Basically, what you told your fans is not to come to our games no more because we gave up once we released David Garrard. I think that's just ridiculous that they did this at this point in time. Now, if I'm a Jaguars fan, I don't even know if I watch any of the games the rest of the season. Because of what they did. I mean, it's
That's
just
a strong
ridiculous.
statement, Josh.
No, the statement has to be made because that organization that just made that whole decision with David Garrard was just a waste of time. You told your whole team that was shocked, and they just basically told them we're not making the playoffs this year. But I just want to add that in there. Blaine Gabbert will be starting this week for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Let me ask you a question, Josh. Why don't you? You did go in a little bit on the organization. But you're a guy who's always hard on the players for taking certain stance, especially when it comes to money and things of that nature. I mean, teams do ridiculous things all the time in the NFL. I mean, what is that? How you cut the guy, the week before?
Yeah, it was the week before. Yeah, the week before the season was supposed to start. I don't know how you do. Obviously they didn't want to pay him. That was the main motivation behind everything, that they didn't want to pay the guy. But, at the same time, I really don't know what to say about that organization. Are you that money hungry that you want to save that money? Blaine Gabbert, you could have waited until David Garrard's contract's up. Let him sit a little bit. You're going to have him struggle. I don't know if they... I just don't know what they were thinking. It's just I just can't really know what to say. Now you're starting the kid. They're 0-2. That the team's morale is just completely down. He can't gonna provide a spark. When you're looking for a spark from a rookie now, I don't know what to say about him.
You know what? This is what we gotta say to the Jaguars franchise. You know what? Just like Mark May said it, the U should have been
death penalty.
Death penalty. The Jacksonville Jaguars should be death penalty. Their ownership, their organization, their ownership, terrible. Jack Del Rio, you're not a bad guy, but you know what? You might have been put in a bad situation. I thought the tux meant something when you was walking on the sideline with the tux. I thought it meant something, but I guess not.
Well, and another thing that I want to comment on, Giants lose another player. Hickson tears the ACL again. Needs surgery. Receiver who made the amazing catch.
Who's Hickson?
Who made the amazing catch for the St. Louis Rams?
Who's Dominic Hickson?
Dominic Hickson. He made that amazing catch for that touchdown.
Who is Dominic Hickson?
What?
It's not Hakeem Nicks. It's not
Manningham. Has a concussion.
It's not Manningham.
What do you mean? Hickson's a big player for them. You just see that touchdown, the grab that he made, that juggling catch. The guy's a good receiver. You can't deny him that. He does. When he's on the field, he produces it. But that's
what's his Madden rating?
I don't know what his Madden rating is.
I'm sure he don't rate over 70 in Madden. That tells me everything. I live my life in Madden.
Geeks make Madden. 2 4-eyed geeks make Madden, and they don't know what the heck they're doing. I heard at one point in time, Devin Hester had a 100 speed, and Chris Johnson had a 99. That makes no sense. Devin Hester runs a 4.440. Chris Johnson runs a 4.24. How does that make sense? You're 4 eyes. You don't know what you're doing.
No, we're talking about on in-game speed is different from your 40 times. I mean, you
In-game
have guys.
speed,
I mean, you
yeah,
have the
if
acceleration
you're
that
talking
this guy
about
showed. I
in-game
mean, you can't go
speed,
against the Madden guys. The
in-game
Madden guys
speed,
is spoken.
In-game speed.
Devin Hester in-game
Chris
is
Johnson
faster.
should be a 200 then. Because in-game speed, no one stops and start as fast as that individual right there. That guy gets the ball, it's automatically an explosion once he touches the ball. So, like I said, if you're talking about in-game speed,
You know what?
It should be a
And
150.
speaking of Chris Johnson, let's get to our last topic of the day. What's wrong with CJ?